Okay, so bro say, what has African Americans done to improve their own situations? Many nationalities have endured similar situations and has overcome. So, just to build the proper context, if you go back to the video from whence this comment has come, this is a response to a comment that I made on my older brother, New Possibility Blogs video. By the way, happy belated birthday, big bro. Many more. I love you much, man. You my guy. You know what I'm saying? It's one love to my big bro. But anyhow, is so in this video, my brother was posing the question of uh, reasons why black people shouldn't vote for Donald Trump. And this man, based off of the comment that I made, because the whole thing is that when Donald Trump or whoever the hell else makes the statement of make America great again, the logical question to ask is what era are we talking about that America was great? Now, if we look at America on paper, and it depends on what we're using as the litmus test through which to measure this so called alleged greatness. Now, well, of course, we can go back to the atrocities of Jim Crow. We can go back to the atrocities of slavery. We can go back to the colonial period when there was still the transatlantic slave trade going on. We could talk about the subjugation of women. We could talk about the extermination of the natives. We could talk about the proliferation of war worldwide. We could talk about the domination of the Western Hemisphere via the Monroe Doctrine. There are many instances in which we can look back at the past and say, when was America great? And this was my point of questioning. And then this man comes with this question. He says, what has African Americans done to improve their own situations? Now, statements like this allude to the fact that this brother right here is an agent of non-thought of the received idea, and he has bought into the narrative, hook, line, and sinker, that black people have done nothing but complain, that we have not contributed anything to American society, and that the current conundrum of our socioeconomic situations unmasked for many of us are the results of our own actions. Now, me being a more conservative leaning person, I would never downplay the role and importance of personal accountability and responsibility. However, as a student of history, one who has kept up with politics and been studying black liberation struggles for the past, 35 years. Um, oh, excuse me. Yeah, 35 years, excuse me. I have to also say that on top of our own endeavors, there are certain circumstances, situations that we have been socioeconomically placed in that are beyond our control. Now, this man right here obviously doesn't understand history. You want to know some of the things that we done, sir? We started colleges. We led movements. We had our own business networks. We had leaders and fraternal organizations, and we did quite a bit. But every turn in the road, whenever we seem to step up out of the mud and the mire of subjugation, humiliation, and dehumanization, someone from the other team rose up to stop what we were doing. Whether we're talking about the brothers and sisters here, the brothers and sisters in the Caribbean, the brothers and sisters in Latin America, or the brothers and sisters back home in Africa. Anytime our people have risen up to try to go for their own, to assert their right to self-determination, someone from the other side of the equation, or an entity, an organization, a secret demonic cabal has arisen to keep us in a place of subjugation. You don't believe me? Look at the counterintelligence program. You don't believe me? Look at how heroin was flooded in our neighborhoods in the 70s. You don't believe me? Remember how crack inundated our communities in the 80s, and then be cognizant of the reinvigorated, reinforced pipeline to prison from the 90s. You, sir, are obviously either very disingenuous or extremely uninformed. Now, brother, now I'm asking, you said Many nationalities have endured similar situations and has overcome. Which other nationality, which other ethnic group had their history ripped from them systematically for hundreds of years? Which other group had their cultural identity erased and the very recollection and remembrance of who they might have been before their subjugation was made illegal? Who else has had it made illegal that they could be fathers, that they could read, that they could vote? Who else has had it okay for their women to be raped, their children to be taken away? Who else was given a semblance of freedom only for 100 years to be made just a little bit above a dog, but yes, less loved and less well received? Who else had their organizations designed for self-determinations infiltrated by an enemy and an oppressor? Who else? Brother, who else? And now here's the crazy part. With yet all of that working up against us, we have still persevered and we have still arrived. Brother, with all of that working against us, we still have colored and checkered the American experience and the American culture, so much so that to this day, when you go worldwide and you mention American culture, you can't mention American culture without referencing what we have added to this society. No one else has faced what we have faced, but yet still persevered. It's kind of like in the Bible, when Samson's hair was cut off and Samson was thrown in a prison cell and Samson's eyes was gouged out, but yet and still, despite of that, this denigrated and disrespected champion was still able to overcome. And in a likewise manner, we as black men, as a black community here in America, we have done the amazing despite our hair being cut, despite our eyes being gouged out, despite being in the condition of that of a prisoner. We have still persevered. So the real question, brother, isn't what have we done to improve our circumstance. The real question, black man, is what is the secret to your strength? See, you love the oppressor because the oppressor gives you nothing. You are an agent of non-thought of the received idea of America's implicit good and the implicit laziness of our people, which is the narrative that they want to pass down or impose upon us, black man. I encourage you, brother, to do a little history reading. I encourage you, brother, to look within self, to look in the mirror and ask yourself, who taught you to hate yourself? So I encourage you, black man, on today, that this kind of thinking is not conducive to liberation, nor is this kind of thinking in line with what God has spoken to the spirits of every living creature, that we are somebody, that we are special. You, sir, work and operate in the mind of the one who tries to hold you back. I hope this has added to your perspective and enlightened you on this day. Peace.